Welcome to the Tech Race. Every single step a hockey player takes is important and will be tracked. Now elite athletes train and compete under surveillance to achieve their best. During a 60-minute hockey match, players may sprint at speeds of up to 30 kilometers an hour, making it nearly impossible to analyze their explosive movements without the help of technology.
We started very basic, so a GPS similar to what's in a car. But as the technology got a bit more advanced, we very much went from very linear stuff like rowing, like I mentioned to you before, to very multi-directional and explosive sport movements like you see in hockey.
Collecting this information, we'd be guessing. For me, the biggest thing we can do is we can start answering questions.
I started playing when I was 12. I can't imagine actually training without it.
We visit the British National Sports Centre in Bisham Abbey. The British female hockey team, gold medalists at the Olympic Games Rio 2016, no longer train or play without GPS technology. We had the chance to see how the device works and what it tracks during a match.
We get the data from matches, so such as today, and then we can use it to replicate our training, sort of the high-speed running we cover, the number of accelerations and decelerations, and it's interesting to see sort of different styles and tactics we play, how that affects our running and movement.
So let's say, for example, that we make an attack and then the team counter-attack against us. We can see if our players are sprinting as hard as they can to get back, to get behind the ball, to win it, to go back again. So if we can calculate how much work they're doing and we can characterise their response, we can also say, well, look, these players are fitter, for example, or these players are stronger, these players have a better diet, these players sleep more. How does that impact or affect how well they recover?
The powerful GPS system works at 10 Hz, meaning it samples data 10 times a second, requiring at least 4 available satellites. In addition to field hockey, this technology is used in soccer, basketball, rowing and ice hockey.
10 Hz is kind of ideal for human movement. The GPS in a car is 1 Hz. Turn left, probably too late, because it's only sampling 1 times a second. You do miss some information, whereas a car obviously travels very fast and the GPS struggles to keep up. The more explosive the players are, the more changes of direction they do, and the more they work in such small spaces like they do in hockey, the higher the quality of the GPS has to be able to track those movements. We basically use 2 satellite constellations for our GPS fix. We use the American Navstar constellation, and we use the Russian GLONASS constellation as well. The factors that are involved is how many satellites you can connect to, the size of the GPS antenna as well. You can imagine that if you have a very small GPS antenna, it's very difficult to get a very good signal. And also the sampling frequency as well. So you mentioned 1 Hz versus 10 Hz.
The GNSS is a satellite tracking-based system where GPS is still a vital component, but thanks to GLONASS, the Russian satellite system doubles the available satellites, dramatically increasing the accuracy of the tracking system. Also reducing velocity noise in difficult conditions and works when there is sky coverage. The heat map shows where each player has spent most of their time. The arrows indicate a sprint. The velocity graph shows peak speeds and even heart rate.
What the gyroscope can help us do is work out which direction the unit is facing. We might be able to see is that a player makes more movements this direction, they make that direction. And we'll be able to tie that up with, we can feed that information into the rest of our medical team and say, look, this player has made significantly more movements towards their left than they did towards their right. Has that had an impact on some of their muscle imbalance, on how their back is, how their hips are, how their joints are, for example?
Coaches also create a profile of work that needs to be done on the field in order to find the ideal player for each position and to succeed in competitions.
And the fantastic thing about hockey or team sport is that, it's not a race, it's not an all-out physiological event, so that different people with different physical characteristics can still make it to the most elite level. And it's the role of us as trainers and scientists to try and find the best way for them to get there.
Tracking systems may provide a big advantage. However, they are dependent on satellite coverage, a limitation researchers are trying to overcome. The next step is so-called local positioning, a technology that provides positional data via wireless nodes that serve as satellites, ideal for indoor sports.